This evening we have a joint meeting of the Rec Committee and Buildings and Ground Committee to talk about three overlapping topics. So the first topic is the United Way partnership, and this particular agenda item has two pieces related to it. Okay, in the first piece, we'll listen to our special guest tonight, and that's Colleen Beckendorf from the United Way, and then Susie will provide the second piece of the United Way part. Okay, so welcome to Colleen.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'm really excited to be here. So, as Chris said, my name is Colleen Beckendorf, and I'm with United Way Racine County. I actually am part of the Waterford School District, so I live in Rochester. My kids never did go to the Waterford School District, however, because they were a little bit older when we moved here. So we built a house about 13 years ago in this area. So I'm your neighbor. So I'm excited to be here tonight to tell you a little bit about the Born Learning Trail. I know that this group has been inundated with information about 4K and what's going on with early childhood development, so I don't want to rehash any old information because you're well aware of statistics and data to affirm that it is a very positive thing to do with early childhood. So United Way, we have three focus areas, which are education, income, and health. And we believe that those are the building blocks for a good life for everyone within our community. And to that end, one of our initiatives is the Born Learning Trail, because just as the name insinuates, we know that a child, right from birth, they are learning, hence the name, the Born Learning Trail. So the Born Learning Trail is actually a series of activity stations along with signage. So I want to show you examples right here. There are a series of 22 signs, and they're actually in English and in Spanish. So there's 11 signs, including a Welcome to the Trail sign. And what these are is they are attached to like the wood, and they're attached to the wood and they're installed in concrete. And then it is activity stations where they read the signage and then they do activities that are painted on the asphalt or concrete. So like I said, we have a series of 6 activity stations with 22 signs, because we believe having in English and in Spanish is very important to our community. And really the target audience for these signs is really the caregiver walking the trail with a preschool child. And so the caregiver could be the parent, the grandparent, the brother, the sister, the relative, the preschool teacher, the daycare provider, whoever is with the child. And what we're hoping they do is that they are reading these signs and they are encouraging the interaction with the young child to be creative and to ultimately learn in a unique environment. So I have actually prepared a PowerPoint for you. I'm not going to, I know that it's very time sensitive, so I'm counting on Chris to keep me on track there with my time, because I tend to talk a lot. But there is a PowerPoint there. I'm going to kind of gloss over it. The beginning part is really talking about the reasons behind the trail, which, as I said, you are very well aware of that because you have been inundated with information because of the 4K program. And so it gives you some statistics and reasons why. United Way has embraced this initiative throughout the U.S. You will see quite a few of the trails throughout the greater Milwaukee area and Waukesha. And we actually have 3 trails already in Racine County. So within this last year, we have introduced 3 trails, 2 in Racine, 1 at North Beach Park and 1 at West Park, and then also at the Echo Park in Burlington this last fall. So we're very, very excited about the trails because we know that they are very highly visible and they are very colorful, and it encourages the kids to enjoy them and to learn from them, and encourages the parents to interact with the child. So like I said, these are the actual size of the signs. All of the signs are actually metal, and then they are attached to the wood, and then they are installed in the ground in concrete. And they can be put in any way, it doesn't matter, as long as the picture that's on the concrete that's painted on there with asphalt paint coincides with the sign. It doesn't matter what order you put them in. And the signs are always welcome to the trail on each end, because we want the kids to always feel welcome, and there's not really an end, so they're always beginning. So there are kits that we buy, and there's an English kit and a Spanish kit. And that includes like the screws and different things to use to install it. There's also stencils that are included with the kits. I included an estimate in your packet of information that is really a rough estimate about past expenses that we've incurred by installing the trail. And so you will see that that's listed there. This is just for your background information. Now, when we pick a trail, we always want to pick a trail that's really highly visible. We want to pick a trail that's got a lot of kids around it. We want to pick a trail that's very safe. So we try not to have it too close to the road or too close to the water. An ideal location for a trail is in front of or near playground equipment, and that has high traffic, a lot of family traffic. So to that end, and you guys are peeking ahead, I'm saying, so if you look at this big picture that blew up, so the rest of these you have to use your cheater glasses to read because I really shrunk it down so I didn't use a lot of paper. But I do have one full-size sheet in there which shows you the location that we are recommending, and Chris concurs is a great place to put the trail. And what's attractive about it, like I said, is it's close to the playground, it has high traffic, it has high visibility, and it's in an area that's not close to the water and it's not close to cars, and so it's a very safe area. So that's why we chose that. And also having the asphalt already laid makes it much less expensive, so we can draw the trail pictures. Now I want to do this unveiling here. This is my ta-da! So here is pictures that we took during the installation of the Burlington Echo Park Trail. We also had a big kickoff event, so I kind of interspersed the pictures throughout. So if you can't see, I'll try to get out of your way here. But I'm going to show you that, as you can see, the trail pictures are all nice and bright, and we came in and chalked them in the night before, and then the next morning the volunteers painted them in. We actually were able to get about 40 volunteers at the Burlington installation. We did it on our National Day of Caring, which was September 12th last year, I believe, and this year I think it's the 13th, September 13th, right? Mm-hmm. And that's the day that we're hoping to install the trail here. And as you can see, they're very large signs just like that, and then what we do is typically put the English on top and the Spanish on the bottom, and then we put them back to back so that you're really consolidating the area that you need. And all the pictures are different, so the trails are as unique as can be, because every one is different, and it's up to your imagination to make it really exciting. So we think that we have a great group of volunteers that are willing to do this already. I already have a staff member who is working on creating the pictures, so we're pretty excited about that. And I have been talking to the Waterford Lions Club about sponsoring this. We have not heard back, 100% we don't know, but if for some reason they choose not to support this, then we will be looking for funding support from someone else. We're typically looking for around $5,000, and that gives us all the materials. It's also dependent on how much we can get for in-kind donations or people have to help support us. Like at the Burlington Trail, we didn't need a post-hole auger, which is $100 savings because someone just came and did it with what they had. And so there are ways to eliminate some costs, and then we get sponsorship support to do that. In Burlington, we spent $6,100. That's because we did kind of an extravaganza for the community event, and it was all free to everyone in the community. So we had healthy snacks and healthy drinks. We had lots of fun things like kids Zumba. We had balloon characters. We had face painting. We had popcorn. We had all kinds of really, really fun things for the kids to do during the grand opening. So the reason for I'm here tonight is really to ask for your approval to install one of these wonderful trails right here in Waterford, and at the location behind Evergreen, along the path that you see a picture of. I did that. I'm so proud of myself. I did Google Earth, and I actually had a tag there with the 6 posts where those are going to be. So yeah, who says you can't teach an old dog new tricks, right? So we kind of laid it out, and this is, we don't have approximates. I mean, we don't have exacts, I should say. These are more approximates, and Susie's going to explain more about that, which plays into her piece in this whole thing. So anyway, that's why we're here tonight. We're hoping that you will consider giving us approval to enhance the path, and I do mean enhance because it's going to be nice and bright and colorful. It's going to draw the kids in. It's going to give them something more to do when they're at your wonderful facility, in addition to watching the games and playing on the playground equipment. So, Susie,
Can we ask,
now you're on.
can we ask some questions of you before we go on?
If you like, sure.
Okay, so my first question is, are we not putting the cart before the horse? You're already talking to the Lions and everybody else about this. Even talking to people in the facility about painting this. Haven't even talked to the board yet. I mean, it's a little bit of cart before the horse. My issue is on this one is, what's your target group on that path? That path was put in for Fox River students, not elementary students. Elementary students aren't let off the playground at recess time.
Well, the target audience really is the adult caregiver who is with the child in the area and walking the path with the child, and so that is who it is. So,
yeah, but you got to look at the target group that uses the path. The path is used majority by middle school kids coming from the south end of the middle school area.
Well, perhaps Chris or Susie can address that piece of it better.
I guess we were looking at it as like a community-wide usage. I mean, in the evenings, we offer classes out there for the rec department. In summer, on Saturdays, it's packed with 500 people here with moms with, you can attest to this, with kids and carts and playground, they're all out there. So we're just trying to draw in more of the community and utilize the path for our events.
So it becomes a destination versus just a path.
Exactly. Well said. And the reason was strictly timing that we approached the Lions Club because we are hoping to install the path by September 13th this year. It takes 6 to 8 weeks to get the signs in after we get funding support and approval of logos, etc., because this is a branding opportunity for the Lions Club, so we'd want to utilize logos and such, and so we don't keep the signage on hand. We order it as is needed. If you look, let's see, what is it?
I have a question though, so
yeah.
What kind of paint do you use? We can't even paint anything on the inside of the building, keep more than a couple years. What do you use on the outside? We don't even have do we have our stuff painted anymore on the main asphalt on the playground?
Yeah,
We used to have the United States and the state of Wisconsin. And,
yeah, that's all altered.
Okay. So,
Yeah, we use asphalt paint, and the trails are pretty new, so I can't attest for our trails specifically, and we do have harsh winters, and we know that. But what we know from what other United Ways have done, that we hope to get at least 3 or 4 years out of every paint job. And United Way is committed to actually maintaining the path. So should you see that they need to be repainted, then we will bring our volunteers out here to do that, and we will incur the cost to do that as well. So that's not really an issue. And also for the metal signage, United Way is committed to replacing those if need be. They clean up very easy, so in the unlikely situation that there would be graffiti on them, they clean up very easily with lighter fluid. In the 3 trails we've had out there a year now, we have had 0 graffiti or anything like that, and everything looks fine. So we expect to get years of wear out of that too. But really what we're doing here tonight is to ask for the approval for that path. We believe in talking that it's the best path around here.
It's not the only path around here. Being that this community doesn't put money into parks. So my question is, everyone that you've said so far is a park. This is not a park.
Right. But it's not necessarily
a whole different scenario than this.
Correct, but it's not necessarily a park where the trails are installed. The trails can be installed anywhere. They could be installed in a bike path. If it was paved, you could put it on a bike path. It doesn't matter. It's really an area, ideally what we're looking for is an area that has high traffic, high visibility, an opportunity for enhancement, and there's a lot of kids there. And this area fits the bill to a T. You don't have to be concerned about the kids getting too close to the water. You don't have to be concerned about them walking into traffic when they're walking the trail. And you have a lot of kids that are already there because of the activities for the older kids. So this gives these young kids and their caregiver, let's not forget that's who the target is, an opportunity to interact with them, creating these learning opportunities for these young kids. Because our goal really is sustainable solutions with United Way. So we are trying to improve the teen pregnancy rate. We're trying to improve the graduation rate we're trying to improve the overall lives of and better those in the community. And this is one way that we think we can do that, is really by reaching out to the young kids and
I
starting
don't know
from
if
the
that
ground
covers your
up.
topics. I think it's a little far-fetched if this would have anything to do with teen pregnancy rate. But I mean, commendable ideas.
It's part and parcel of educating in early age is what it is. So, yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions? Colleen?
I got a lot of questions, but I'm going to listen to you.
Okay.
All right.
You're on board.
Susie's
All
on.
right. Well, the other, to echo off of what Colleen's referring to, since we have since we're hoping to get the Born Learning Trail started, which is the children, the infant age, then again, along with that, we're hoping to add a fitness equipment trail. So we're looking at doing 5 stations, and I'll pass this out so you have an idea of what we're talking about.
So we're not just painting now, we're adding equipment out there?
Correct. Next to these. So these are 5 stations, and here's some examples of the stations. I didn't bring out any, so you have to share them.
Sorry.
One more. One more copy. All right, so the 5 stations, let's see those pricing. So what we're looking at is to creating, this would be a great place for the Waterford Recreation at our sculpt and strength class, are there fitness classes out there, or Zumba, or just other activities. Again, this will help the fitness education classes, Fox River, Evergreen, Woodfield could use these facilities. Of course, our local community could use them as well. So we're looking at about $700 per piece. I'm thinking of 5 pieces for the fitness equipment. Of course, this would reach out to each muscle group. You know, I'm talking about sit-ups, push-ups, a little bit of variety of, those are the pictures that you have in front of you. So a little bit of each. I'm also looking at doing a sign station, so 3 sign stations, and that's on the back page here. Sign stations, so you know what to do, obviously, how many sit-ups per heart rate and so forth. And just looking at some of the total costs here, we're looking at 15% shipping, and it's rides on a pallet, 20% installation, and then it's $200 per piece. I'm looking at about a 10 by 10 area, 4 to 5 inches deep, with some mulch, like some safety mulch, and of course putting a weed barrier down and so forth underneath that. So we're looking at a total cost of $16,746. I also have community involvement on this, so the Girl Scouts are interested in doing a bronze award. The Boy Scouts are working on an Eagle project on this, we could help out as well. Other local parks that have this is in the Greenfield area near Conkle Park, of course, and there's a walkway path by St. Alphonsus Church. I don't know if you're familiar with that area, but they have also this equipment. And these pieces that I just made copies of, it's just a couple pieces just to give the example of what they look like. So again, this would be next to the Born Learning Trail, so we fit everybody's bill. So from born to seniors could use this trail.
So I think the idea was to do an activity station for the Born Learning Trail,
Right.
then do an activity station for the adults, and then do an
Correct.
activity station. So along the whole trail would be opportunities for the whole community to utilize it.
So that's what our idea was.
16,000 includes all the concrete work for the footings and everything?
Correct. So that's my estimated costs.
Now, when you mentioned participation, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, that type of thing,
Right.
financially or physically?
Physically.
Okay.
Yeah, physically. Yeah. They would earn like the Girl Scouts would earn their gold award
Okay.
to do a community event like tied into our community. And the Boy Scouts would probably make a few benches, like wood benches for us to maybe alongside that path. So again, it's just trying to get community involved in it.
Sure.
Like one of the Eagle Scouts I know just did the picnic benches.
Yeah, we had them do 10 picnic tables.
Yeah.
Sit out here in the,
Yeah,
Do
underneath
this a
the.
couple
And I think,
of-
was it Runsheimer's who donated that?
the funds for it was
Yeah.
donated by Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
Now we have Eagle Scouts through the rec department that built this for us.
How big is our path right now? 5 foot? For plowing? 8 foot. Okay, 8 foot's a lot bigger than what I'm seeing on these things up here. So, I come back to again, it's an access path. If we have anybody, it's on Saturday morning. That's it. late at nighttime, you go out there and T-ball, the caregiver who is here with the student for T-ball is not taking the student out to a path. They're at T-ball or soccer.
But often when I'm out and about between like
Right.
Evergreen, going to Woodfield, like we'll go between the two playgrounds because it's so much fun to see them both. But you know, there's a lot of people out there in between there.
I think
There really are. I mean, and I'm not like, you know, strollers and younger kids. I mean, I would say at least, you know, like I'll run into 5 other people when I'm out there. Regarding that, I'm also thinking of Bloom Fest might be another time that we have a lot of people here with a lot of different age groups, and it might draw more people that are seeing it at that time.
During football season, when the kids practice up here, that's when it gets really active. Because they tend to park down towards Woodfield because it gets crowded in a turnabout, and then there's people that utilize it.
I think you kind of hit the nail on the head before too when you said that there are no parks in
Well,
Waterford.
that's the issue.
So
We should be pushing
the
for a
schools
park.
kind of are the parks. I mean, that's my wife brings our kids
Unfortunately,
here.
I think it is.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The unfortunate part of that, though, it doesn't work that way. Waterford graded is the only one that supplements the cost of this park. So,
Right, but I guess we're talking about two things here. The first piece we were talking about, there was no real cost to the district with that portion of it, and we were more talking about, okay, usage, and we're just kind of trying to say that there are people that come, and kids and families that come to the playgrounds and stuff, so there, I can see the usage of that from that perspective. But then now we have the second piece where we're looking to fund rec money and build something, which is kind of two different things.
so paint and a half dozen signs cost $6,000.
Well, it's about 4,400. We are asking for sponsorship support for 5,000 to cover some media expenses and grand opening expenses. Like I said, we actually have much more than that in Burlington to do that, and we've made it a bigger event. So it's what you want to make it, to introduce it to the community. So we can work with, we don't even have to do that, but it's in the community's best interest to know it's here. So to do some media exposure and have an event of some sort to kick it off is an advantage. So. And should the Lions Club make a decision not to fund us, and we don't know that yet, they haven't had a general meeting to confirm, then we will look at others. And I can tell you getting sponsorship support has been pretty darn easy for this path. So I don't anticipate a problem with that. Waterford does have limited opportunities for a path. So from a purely cost standpoint, to already have the concrete path in place or the asphalt path in place is a huge cost savings, and that's what you have here. And having the high traffic, I'm here at Balloon Fest, I'm here for different things, and so I see the traffic that is here, and similar to Echo Park, it's very high, so.
So Susie, the money from your estimate, that would come out of rec department funds?
Is there any opportunity there, because it's going to be more of a community thing, to try to get some additional funds from?
Sure, of course, there always is. I know we work with a few, you know, personally with a few landscapers, so we have some opportunities there. I know Ken probably has some contacts for me, so sure, there's always opportunity for that.
From a facility standpoint, I heard you mentioned a couple of things you might have thought might be an issue.
Well, when Susie and I first started talking about this, and then she had the meeting with Colleen, I mean, we looked at many different possibilities of where this could go. My one concern always is the fact that this particular location for the pathway, there is no lights, it's out in the middle of a field, and I know you said you had very little vandalism in the, where they are now. But I mean, if you look at the Echo Park area, I mean, that's lit, that's highly visible from the road. It's only attainable from one side, I mean, unless someone wants to swim across the lake to get at it. I'm not downing it by any means, I'm just trying to point out some of the potential problems that I see.
Right.
And then just recently, Susie and I had another conversation in thinking more about this, is if we would put it along this pathway directly alongside of Evergreen, and then potentially put a culvert in and fill in this drainage ditch area with a culvert and level that out, to put the equipment in that area and the paintings along that pathway. If we wanted to, it would be very simple to light it at night, or put some security light on it at least at night to protect it from any potential vandalism.
So that's the one that's right out here?
Right alongside
Right.
here.
We
Alongside the
Yeah,
door.
yeah,
like
yeah.
that one.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
We like that actually.
Yeah, we did like that one. We can put it wherever you're comfortable doing it, certainly. I don't know, again, having preschoolers on the path, I mean, I don't know how much they are out after dark, so I don't know that light is a
I'm talking more
huge
the
issue.
equipment part of it.
Yeah,
not
I
so
Oh,
much
okay.
the
Vandalism.
Okay.
This would be, now they would both be in the same areas to where caregiver could have the child doing this and they could use the piece of
Right.
equipment right adjacent to it.
Right.
Where they wouldn't be in different areas, but it would all be together. Plus, I think it's in closer proximity to the large number of people that are here for the soccer games, the football games,
And our
the
pavilion.
different rec department stuff. It's right there where mom could send little Johnny down there and, go play on that or go do that or whatever and still be within eye view of him. So again, I'm not degrading this at all. I think it's a great idea. I'm just trying to find the best spot for it.
Right, and we certainly welcome that opinion too, because we want to find the best spot for it too. Like you said, being visible, having high traffic,
Right.
and easy to install. Already have your pathway there.
Right.
It's a big cost savings, so.
I kind of wish United Way was working a little bit harder with the municipality to put in a actual park.
Yeah, that, that would be.
I can tell you this, there's more students at Whitford Park over the course of summer and fall between football, baseball, and everything else than there are by far over here for the rec program. There are so many people for softball, for football, for baseball, all their brothers and sisters are there, and there's no things planned.
But we can change
Because,
that right now.
what's
We
that?
can change that right now by building this facility and building this together. We could change that.
Yeah, but we're a WGSD rec department. We are not a Waterford rec department in that nobody other than Waterford graded school parents or taxpayers pay for that, right?
Correct.
So everybody in this entire community should be paying for a park. This is why we limit what we do on the rec side. The original intent of rec is for the children. We've expanded it to include adult, but the original intent is for the children of the WGSD district.
Susie, I didn't, have you attended the village meetings, I can't remember if you have, where they're talking about the sidewalks, I mean, the
Right.
bike paths
Bike
and things that
paths,
are gonna
yeah.
go in with the
Yeah.
new
Yeah,
construction?
it's a whole new downtown.
How will this path align with that? Will there be connection points? Because as you think about bringing the whole community together on a path, and I just envision people biking on the
Right.
weekends and things like
Right.
that, will this hook up with a bigger goal of the community? Because then I really see a purpose behind making some connections there.
Yeah.
I don't know, I haven't been
Yeah.
at those community meetings.
No, it's a really good really good point. I did meet at one of the village board meetings, they had an agenda about the whole park thing. The kayak launch, the walkway paths through the town here. And I did mention, like we're trying to expand a little bit more here on the grade school level. Is there any funding for village perhaps, they're gonna look into it, but I didn't get anything approved, of course, or didn't get anything authorized. But yes, I did mention that, engaging that, both sides of it.
Because when you think about the bigger purpose of biking and walking and
Right.
connecting the
Those
community
paths.
together with a pass, and then, in Waukesha, these things are all
Right.
over everywhere.
Exactly.
Down by the Fox River on the other side, because you just connect everything,
Sure.
and to schools and away from schools, and
Yeah, because what's the main layout right now, Darlene? Have you seen that for the state? How to redo down there? I thought we were putting a bike path thing up on the cross.
I haven't stayed, down here in Waterford,
Yeah,
I haven't stayed
I
up
thought
to
from Whitford across, they were
date.
talking about it.
where they are, I guess, Dan, in the past months.
Because with that whole downtown being redone, this is kind of a little bit ahead of itself. With that whole downtown being redone, everything's that whole intersection's changing, all the paths are changing. Everything's gonna be connected together. It might be a better idea to have it as a community thing and not a school thing.
But if our walks are on our property and connecting to the bigger piece, it just brings the unit together.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have quite a few people here every Saturday for the rec program,
Oh,
and a lot of younger kids that aren't involved yet that are just sort of running around that would.
and you know what, if I can get kids walking to Fox River in the morning to do 10 push-ups or whatever, you know what, that'd be fantastic.
I don't know if you could push-ups out of me, it's the skateboarders going down those things, they look great.
Well, we haven't had skateboards at
Designed
school
for
lately,
skateboarders,
so
they're
no,
perfect
that's
height.
been a die out right now, but maybe this year will be coming again, but,
That's why you'd have to keep mulch, you can't put concrete around those things.
right.
Yeah,
Right, this is mulch,
No.
yeah, safety mulch actually. If we
Yeah.
bury it down first.
Yeah.
So keep an eye on the time. Committee, what is your desired? Let's break it into the two parts. The first part is
Yeah, I think it's
part that
definitely two
Colleen talked
parts.
about.
Who's the alternate that's on there?
That I don't know.
I think I'm the
Maybe that's it. I have to look at the list.
I don't know.
It's
It
very
should be the
different.
alternate point ever.
Anyway,
It would be double alternates.
Pretty sure we're all. I like the idea. I understand what you're saying about what the village is gonna look at doing, but if they're bike paths, you don't necessarily wanna put something where young children are stopping to do different activities either on those trails, but if they connect, and if we can, I mean, the village hasn't solidified those things yet, so if we let them know this and we're able to work with them to know it's here too, I think it's a great idea, and adding the adult equipment, I think it would be useful. There's a lot of people use the route, you know, and it's sidewalk and it's nice and wide, you know.
And you see people with strollers and that in the evenings, especially right before dark,
Oh,
walking
absolutely.
past and that, which
Absolutely.
Yeah.
more so every year.
It's growing.
so there seems to be acceptance of the idea. Now let's talk about the location for a minute. Can it toss out the
I
potential
do
for-
share, again, looking at it from the two different sides of it. I look at the equipment in a non-lit area. I agree with you there, because I could see a lot of like joggers and people who would utilize that path that run at dusk, or, you know, when it's darker, that would stop and do some push-ups, you know, you utilize it a lot. Maybe you wouldn't, because it does get to be pitch black back there, you can't see anything.
The other problem from building and grounds is we have had vandalism at Fox River and that, where we've had the county have to come in and put in cameras trying to find them. So unlit path, with the history we've had here, would probably be asking for problems.
Yeah.
It would be a lot better along the building here where we do have some light coming off the building. Also, when the sheriff's department comes through, they can take a look and see it right away too.
Right, because it almost becomes, once you put things like that, then it just becomes a magnet to kids and everybody wanting to be back there and monkeying around on it. But as far as the overall concept, I like it, especially the United Way aspect, because really at the end of the day, they're just asking for our permission to use the space, not for money. And, you know, if we can better
I
it.
guess the question, why isn't United Way fronting money on this?
What United Way does quite often is partner with local organizations to generate the funds, and that's what we typically do, so.
Okay, but United Way collects how many hundreds of millions?
Hundreds of millions.
But you will have to maintain it then, though.
Huge amount
What was
collected.
United Way will have to pay to maintain it though.
It will come out of the United Way budget, yes, to maintain it,
And at the end of
correct.
the day, regardless of that, if the Lions are willing to do
Or
it, or
whoever.
one
Jason's
time,
or
or whoever's
whoever.
willing to do it, then
We
God bless
prefer
them and they're
to
willing
work
to
with
do
the
it.
local organizations to, that's how we get our money in the first place, because all the money that is generated in our community stays within our community. I don't know if you're aware of that, so 99 cents out of every dollar stays local. And so that's how we do get our money. So when we go out and we request funding support, or we do our annual fall pledge campaigns within businesses, that is the money that's coming back into these. So this is not a common thing for us to do, to reach out to get sponsorship support for that.
I understand that, but in a Waterford sense, United Way does not stay local, it goes into Racine City.
Not true. 100%
Large
not
majority
true.
of the stuff here goes in there.
No, no, not true. $600,000 annually, $1.5 million in the past 3 years has come into Western Racine County, and we have generated less than $150,000 annually into the kitty in
Okay.
Western Racine
Can
County.
you name
So
some
we
things
get
in Waterford?
5 times.
Waterford proper, what United Way sponsors currently.
Well, okay, Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, Big Brothers, Big Sisters. We
You
do
don't
some of
sponsor
the
locals.
anti-bullying
I ran the
campaigns.
locals.
Okay,
United Way
well,
does not
we do
sponsor locals.
okay, we do sponsor through our youth as resources. We sponsor many different programs. We actually have 60 in the community. If you'd like to open up the book, a little
Yeah, I read
general
them, already in my
brochure
Racine
here.
City.
It will show you. So we sponsor some of the organizations that are at Love. I know you have Love Start here. We sponsor TLC, which is a homeless shelter, which is obviously for
People from Waterford use that too, yes.
Et cetera.
And use Love quite a bit,
Love it.
especially
Yeah.
the store
But what
downtown
you're
too.
saying is if the trail came here, United Way would put the money back in here to keep
Right.
it going.
Exactly.
Right, yeah, yeah, that's how that works.
So do we wanna, are you thinking you're okay with the proposed location of the trail, or do you wanna adjust that? I'm thinking we might incur more costs though, moving, because there isn't any blacktop.
Sure there's blacktop
Yeah,
all
blacktop
the
all
way
the
along.
building.
Yeah,
We
we
paid
walked
exceptional
it,
amount.
there was asphalt there, yeah.
You're thinking right along the building then?
Yep.
Okay,
Blacktop
I thought you were
here.
thinking further out.
No, for the
Okay.
blacktop part of it, the blacktop was already there. Further out would be if we would go into the equipment
Okay.
to fill that drainage swale in, to keep everything in one area.
Right.
That way it could all be lit, from the same light source off the building.
Alright, so I misunderstood, I thought you were talking farther out from the building.
The pathway would be the paved path that's already along the
Yeah.
west side of everything.
Got it, okay.
Really, I mean, wherever we think it would be the best location for the path, however that would work with equipment and all those things too. I mean, of course, more lit is gonna deter any graffiti or those kinds of things, so where it needs to be. But we haven't seen anything else show up on that path or those things, going the past either.
So Ken, when we repave or when we respray the asphalt, which we do on a rotating basis, and this is all gone, United Way's gonna come and repaint the entire thing?
We can do that. Typically, we have not installed on any of the asphalt that has not been sealed. So, like the Echo Park path does not get resealed. So it's better to do it in an area, obviously for longevity reasons, that is not going to be sealed on a routine basis.
Okay, but then they're gonna just replace it every 10, 12 years. We never done the thing of replacing asphalt, we wanna keep the asphalt as substructure.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
But ultimately,
where you put it on asphalt, I mean, there's some maintenance costs involved, some maintenance issues involved. I really don't see, I mean, that pathway eventually would have to be resealed anyhow, because of the nature that it's used, plus we plow it, so there's always
Scrape it up all the
deterioration.
time.
Pardon?
It's gonna scrape it up.
Yep, so I mean, it's, no matter where we put it, whether it be there or here, the same type of maintenance issues are gonna be present.
I think it's different than in Echo Park. Echo Park's not gonna plow this path in the wintertime.
Well, that's what I'm saying, no matter where we put
They
it
also
here,
do not
on
seal
either
that
site.
Well, yeah, we don't use it in the wintertime. We use this year round. We're gonna
So
scrape.
that is an issue. If you want to install an area that has to be resealed. If you do it, I mean, every 3 years or so, we could probably come out and do that and it wouldn't be an issue, but if it was more than that, that would be.
No.
No, it's probably using it for 4 to 5
Resale
years.
like-
3 to 4 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say
then
around
that's
4
not
years
bad,
or so
because I
is
think
what
you're
our
gonna see
average is.
normal wear and
Yeah, I
tear
was gonna
anyways.
say, by that
So
time it's
similar to
gonna-
what you have in a road situation with the lines in the road, and it's the same kind of paint. We just make it pastel colors and do all kinds of fun with it.
And I guess I would say now, if
We get
the
to see what
board
we
so
wanna do,
chooses
yeah.
to do it, we just seal it now, then we know we're good for 3 to 4 years.
right.
Right, and that would be a typical longevity that we would expect to see.
So then the second part is the equipment part that Susie had talked about.
I'd probably like to see how that,
Afterwards.
yeah, if we're looking at this new location, to kind of see how that because I could picture it out there because there's plenty of space and you can have all the
Right.
equipment, but I guess I'd kind of like to visually see a little bit what the idea would be.
And what's
for
the
side
cost
of
gonna
the
be?
Well,
building.
I would have to get the cost.
Yeah, the
You can
adjusted
picture
cost.
The playground area that's right at the southwest corner of the building here with the space net and all that in.
Sure.
That was filled in 12 years ago when we put that playground there. That drainage swale ran all the way up to that little concrete path that leads to nowhere that we call it, leading up into the field. And then we had to extend that culvert out, I think it was 24 or 34 feet, and then had that filled in order to create that space for that space net and the other equipment around it. So I mean, I know it's something that can be done and whatever, Susie and I just talked about that here within the last few days, so I haven't really had a chance to get any costs involved as to what it would take. It would actually serve two purposes to fill that ditch in, because it's a son of a gun to cut. I'm always afraid somebody's gonna roll off a lawnmower cutting it over there.
Deep.
Even the
Plus,
kids,
even
yeah,
the
yeah,
kids,
are
you know,
playing
running
on
down
those,
the
I
hall
know,
and going
right,
down, and
right.
so,
Yeah.
it would serve,
Right.
another purpose there too. I
Right.
just haven't got any costs on it yet, Tom.
What does your gut tell you? I won't hold you to it, that's all right.
Yeah, I mean, because of the culvert that has to go in there.
Come back next month with pricing on that.
You know, and a lot of times you can find contractors that are looking for a place to get rid of clean fill.
Dump it,
You know,
yeah.
they'll come in and dump it for free and just level it off, you know,
Sure.
the only cost then would be to incur would be the cost of the actual culvert and connecting it on each end,
Okay.
so.
So as a committee, would we go forward with the United Way going to the board, but wait to get the cost on this till the next?
How long do you think it would take to get pricing on that?
Taylor?
Couple weeks, I would think, I mean, by the time I get a couple guys in here, it's, you know,
So like
Do you
July
have
committee
to
would
get-
be.
for the next committee meeting, I would say without a problem.
Yeah, but do you have to get the state involved on any water going through?
No, because the culvert would still be there.
There's,
Yeah, but the state has an entire survey of this area, because we changed this entire area over here just to run water.
I would have to check with the
This over
village
here
to
too is all
see.
running to it. It's all the same thing. You can't just start
Yeah.
redirecting.
But you wouldn't be redirected because you're putting a culvert in
You
underneath
can't
it.
just put culverts in either.
I would
Gotta
check
get
with the
approval
village
to
and
say
see what
that.
they say, yeah, I'm not an authority on that, I don't claim to be an authority on that, I
Yeah.
would check with someone that knows positively.
Yeah, I would check those.
Gotta have the
Alright,
water
so
flow.
action item for next week is to take action on the United Way partnership piece as far as the path. Then Ken and Susie will come back with more information as far as the equipment. Okay? We have some insurance checking to do as well, as far as the equipment, I just wanna make you aware of that.
When were you hoping to kick it off again?
September
September.
13th is when we are hoping to install it, because then I have a natural born volunteer team nearly. I mean, they will be part of our day of caring. Last year we had 250 volunteers throughout 20 projects throughout the county, so,
Okay.
yeah.
Alright, thank you, Colleen.
Well,
Yes.
thank you all for
Thank you very
your
much.
time tonight, I appreciate it, and look forward to hearing from you.
Alright,
Thank you.
thank you.
Some of the legal stuff.
So are you forwarding that to the board, or what are you doing?
The United Way is going
I'm not opposed to the United Way end of it, putting this trail in. I don't think I like the idea of putting that stuff in it.
to, and that's coming back in July.
Go back to the spot.
But I would say this, I'm not in favor of something like this, if it's gonna come out of taxpayer money. Should be no reason that the Waterford taxpayers are paying for this.
Carrying everything?